It's a little over 3 weeks into the new year and hoping it's panning out as planned. New Year's greetings and welcome to our first bulletin of the year on Primetime News. Broadcasting from our Eros Park studios in Namibia's capital, Windhoek, I'm Michael Madiba. We begin tonight's bulletin in the Zambezi region, where Namibian Police Force spokesperson in the region, Inspector Kisko Sitali, has issued a warning to residents of Mpacha, urging them to avoid handling suspicious objects that may pose a threat to their safety. Our reporter in the region, Annette Mavuku, filed this report for us.
Inspector Sitali emphasized the potential dangers of explosions in an interview with Nampa on Sunday. His statement follows an incident in Mpacha on Friday where a grenade explosion claimed 2 lives. According to police reports, 34-year-old Kashako Mulatehi, the father of the deceased, allegedly found a hand grenade and spent cartridges and took them home. Mulatehi reportedly attempted to open the hand grenade by striking it with the head of a traditional axe, leading to an explosion which resulted in the immediate death of his 13-year-old son. Mulatehi's 9-year-old daughter succumbed to her injuries in hospital on Saturday, while his 4-year-old son sustained serious injuries. Inspector Sitali expressed concern over the disregard of safety protocols. He said, "Our explosives unit has been educating people about these grenades that are deadly," adding, "They have noticed that sadly people just collect objects and sell them at scrapyards, risking their lives." He further said landowners in Mpacha who are concerned about landmines can make a formal request to NAMPO to screen and clear their land to ensure a safer environment. Sylvia Shundali reporting for Nampa TV.
Staying with the Namibian Police Force in the Oshana region, where Regional Commander Commissioner Naftali Zakaria has called on residents of Oshakati to avoid keeping aggressive dog breeds following an incident that left a 35-year-old man hospitalized. The man, Mbunje Benjamin Shituku, was attacked by a pit bull in Oshakati's Evoluluko residential area on Saturday. Maria David produced this report.
Zakaria told Nampa Shituku had gone to a neighbor's house, but when he entered the yard, the homeowner told him to leave. The neighbor reportedly has personal issues with Shituku's brother. Zakaria said the owner of the house went to the dog's cage, opened it, and the dog bit the victim on his right hand and right foot. He added that the victim sustained serious injuries and he was rushed to the Oshakati State Hospital. Zakaria indicated that no case had been opened yet, but urged residents to not keep aggressive dogs and to not use the dogs to attack people. He said the owners must know that they will face the law at the end of the day, and such dogs will be put down. Last year, Ruben Abraham, a 44-year-old security guard employed by Rubicon Security, succumbed to his injuries in hospital after being attacked by 5 dogs while returning home from work. Ambinga Konjeni reporting for Nampa TV.
Switching attention to neighboring South Africa, where hundreds of Umkhonto we Sizwe supporters attended a meet and greet recruitment drive in Tembisa Township, where they were addressed by their local leaders. Some of the supporters expected to see and meet their interim leader, former South African President Jacob Zuma, who did not attend. Nhlamulo Ndlela, the party's spokesperson, said, quote-unquote, "People want change, and this is a clear demonstration of exactly that."
People want an option that will liberate them from the current state. And people know that President Zuma, under his leadership, under his administration, life was a whole lot better than what it currently is.
Stay tuned for your top roundup. Welcome to the Primetime Biz segment, your leading source for all things business related. Deputy Prime Minister Netumbo Nandi-Ndaitwah says the failure to collectively invest in the Sustainable Development Goals is being felt by developing nations and threatens the growth of the economies. More from this insert.
Nandi-Ndaitwah was speaking at the third South Summit of the Group of 77 plus China in Kampala, Uganda on Sunday. The Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of International Relations is leading the Namibian delegation of senior government officials. Nandi-Ndaitwah noted that the theme, Leaving No One Behind, is appropriate as it emphasizes the imperative of ending extreme poverty and reducing inequalities and vulnerabilities. She said the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals Report 2023, special edition titled Towards a Rescue Plan for People and Planet, indicates that more than half of the world's population has been left behind. It also said more than half of the Sustainable Development Goals targets have not recorded enough or any progress at all, while 30% have either been halted or reversed.
The third South Summit of the G77 plus China, under the theme Leaving No One Behind, commenced in Kampala, Uganda, with host President Yoweri Museveni calling for unity among member states and the international community to support the country in reaching sustainable development. AFP brings us more.
This summit is an appropriate forum to speak with common voice as leaders of the Group of 77 and China for the urgent need for effective actions to accelerate the implementation of the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development during the remaining 7 years to realize our vision, shared principles and commitments, particularly the eradication of poverty in all its forms and dimensions, and the pledge that no one will be left behind.
And while South-South cooperation is strong and deepening, it does not replace the need for the respect of the commitment of the global North, for sustained engagement to reduce poverty and inequality, support growth, and build resilience in developing countries. The United Nations Security Council is paralyzed by geopolitical divisions, and its composition does not reflect the reality of today's world. It must be reformed.
This is where I leave it for tonight's top segment. Stand by for your sports update on Sport Planet. But for now, it's a look at tomorrow's countrywide weather forecast. Welcome to Sport Planet, your hub for all things sport in action. The African Nations Cup kickstarts the segment. Mohamed Salah on Sunday said he's convinced he will win the Africa Cup of Nations with Egypt sooner or later, but admitted his country will need to improve if they are to do so at this year's edition, where he is currently out injured. The Liverpool forward spoke to reporters ahead of the Pharaohs' decisive final group game against Cape Verde later on tonight, which Egypt needs to win to be sure of qualifying for the last 16. The Pharaohs will be without Salah for the game in Abidjan as he recovers from the hamstring injury which forced him off in the first half of the team's 2-0 draw with Ghana on Thursday.
First of all, I'm happy to be here. My injury is still a bit still there, but the most important thing here now is to speak about the game. We are very positive. We have a great players. We have a great team, and just need to fight. We just need to fight and see what's gonna happen. But again, we have a great players, and I think this is the best 20 players or 19 players playing in Egypt, and also in total 27 players, the best 27 players in Egypt. So we just need to play our game and with the courage and confidence, and I believe we're gonna win the game.
Staying atop football, Coventry midfielder Casey Palmer and AC Milan goalkeeper Mike Maignan both reported being racially abused during their sides' matches at the weekend. Both matches eventually restarted after the alleged incidents, and English Professional Footballers Association chair Omar Beckles says players are not convinced the authorities are acting strongly enough on the issue. Now, FIFA President Gianni Infantino said in a post on his organization's X account on Sunday, as well as a 3-step process constituting match being stopped, the match restopped, and the match being abandoned, we have to implement an automatic forfeit for the team whose fans have committed racism and caused the match to be abandoned, as well as worldwide stadium bans and criminal charges for racists. Stand by for your sports roundup. This is where I dock for the night. Many thanks for tuning in. Another primetime news date beckons tomorrow. From myself, Michael Medimba, and my creative team behind the scenes, it's good night.